Welcome one and all. Welcome one and all to another one of my LinkedIn streams with the incredible Vicky Poole of Tender Response. Today we are representing Tender Promote. What is the difference? I hear you ask. Well, Tender Promote is, from my perspective, the arm that does some of the heavy lifting and getting the world outside your fish pond to know what it is you do and why they should invest time with you. Why did you start Tender Promote, Vicky Poole?
Well, Tender Promote it's a work stream within Tender Response. So Tender Response is an organization that helps businesses just like yours to go after public sector sales. And it's a bit niche. So you've got the actual tender side, which is finding the tenders and responding to them. But that's only the reactive gains. In order to be proactive, you need to be on the front foot. To be on the front foot, you've got to have a brand out there that people recognize. You've got to be able to shout about the contracts that you've just won and do it in such a way that you do it better than your competition. And that's where Tender Promote was born. So Tender Promote utilizes up to 8 different social media streams, one of which is LinkedIn. And we talk specifically about LinkedIn today in this forum, about how you can use LinkedIn to accentuate and accelerate your brand over your competition. Now, a little while ago, Gareth and I were talking about some LinkedIn coaches out there. And those LinkedIn coaches were saying, well, you need to do lives, you need to do posts and articles. And Gareth and I demonstrated a point, which we got shot down on. We went down in flames. And it was, no, LinkedIn needs you to perform all of these functions. So what you
can't just do one bit without in isolation to the others. Yes.
Exactly. You have to do them all. And we were shot down in flames. So we decided to test the theory. So I stopped posting for 32 days and Gareth stopped posting for 8. And our SSI score, which is the LinkedIn Social Selling Index, this is the ranking that LinkedIn gives you it gives you a number based on 0 to 25 on 4 matrix. And my scores fell through the floor. After 32 days, you would imagine. Gareth's dropped a bit. And over the last few weeks and every Wednesday until our scores are back up to where we want them to be, where they were before we started this process, we're going to be going live on LinkedIn and sharing the news and what it is that we're doing in order to make a difference to our platform. Now, it's important to note here that we didn't stop posting on LinkedIn. What we did was we followed the exact materials of what some of the other LinkedIn coaches were saying, as in, you don't need to post. You just need to do LinkedIn lives.
Absolutely.
So that's what I did, and I fell through the floor. And I think Gareth did the same thing. Am I right?
I did absolutely the same thing, and I dropped from where I was originally, which was 76, and I dropped down to 61. Now, they are notional figures. They are arbitrarily assigned. They're defined by 4 elements: establishing your brand, finding the right people, engaging with insights, and building relationships. It should be noted you shouldn't live and die by these scores, but it is important to note that it kind of gives you a clue as to the kind of efforts you should be putting in place. So obviously, understanding your professional brand is all about making sure a profile shouts about what your brand is about and where your brand value lies. And the other one of great importance, which is to do with networking, which is the last one, which is building relationships. Now, building relationships is all about you're meeting people, you're finding elements that you're interested in each other, and then connecting to each other on LinkedIn and exchanging messaging. So it's not just enough to connect to them. You need to exchanging messages. It needs to be some sort of two-way communication, to encouraging that sort of pollination and growth. But the other, and I'm just going to quickly talk about it, is engaging with insights. And if you don't put out messaging out there showing how you can help others and also giving away some bits and pieces of useful information for free, yes, I know I said the F word, giving useful bits of information out that is free, then as far as LinkedIn's concerned, is you're not engaging with insights. You do all of these things, your score will lift. So all the SSI gives you is a clue of just how well you can be appreciated by the outside world, if that makes any sense.
It does. It does. And, over the last couple of weeks, we have been talking about this. We've been talking about certain nuances within the LinkedIn SSI. And I made a note last week that we were going to talk about networking effectively and how that comes through on LinkedIn. Now, most people have when you log into LinkedIn, you can see people that you may know. So you can click connect. And if that person accepts your invite, great, you're connected to a new person. That does not qualify as a new connection on your LinkedIn SSI. In order to make best use of the algorithm, you do two things. The first thing, when you're looking to connect with somebody, you send them a message and you explain to them why you're looking to connect to them. So, hey, Gareth, I saw you on LinkedIn Lives. I love the quirky hat and I love what it is you do. I'd love to connect. And then once that person has connected with you, you send them a follow-up note to say, great to be connected. This is demonstrating to the LinkedIn algorithm that you are communicating with people. You are taking their content from what it is that they're sharing on their platform, and then you're taking it to the direct message platform.
If I can take this a step further.
Of course, Gareth, go on.
The first connection message, rather than just saying, I saw your quirky hat and love what you do, try and demonstrate you understand what they do. I love what you do on LinkedIn to help people promote themselves. Otherwise, it looks like, because I get people on a daily basis saying, oh, I've read everything in your profile. Would you like to buy my Okie Kokie 2000? Obviously demonstrating that they don't understand what I do at all. Or the other one is, would you like some help in promoting to your LinkedIn people? And you obviously haven't read my profile if you're asking me this. So the first thing I say that. And then in the follow-up message, and I will also say, I'd say something along the lines of, and I will be sharing stuff which I think you may find intriguing. This is purely to make them almost want to watch out for stuff that's coming down the pipe from you. Now, you'll notice if you're connected to myself or Vicky, that every so often it pops up on your LinkedIn and says, Gareth and Vicky are going to go live talking about X, Y, and Z. And hopefully, in some cases, or in most cases, you'll go, oh, that's interesting. Let's go and watch that. If you're doing that and they have no idea what your axe is to grind, because you haven't really taken much notice of it, because the connection message was so bland that you switched off from it the moment you saw it, then they won't realize that you are maybe relevant to them and you want them watching your lives and you want them taking notes of you. So being memorable is very useful. And the follow-up message should double down on that. So the follow-up message should say, thanks so much. I'm really glad we're connected. Watch out, because I'm going to be sharing information about X, Y, and Z, and I would love your feedback. So welcoming the feedback to it. Sorry about that, Vic.
No, that's all right. It is horses for courses. It is horses for courses. And, I really want to draw attention to some of the LinkedIn people. So you can go out there and you can attribute yourself to a social media marketer who will go out and just add people to your LinkedIn. And these are the people that we always get in our inbox. I had somebody approach me the other day asking me if I would like any bid writers who could write responses to public sector tenders. Well, thank you. I actually run a business that does that, but thank you very much for your message. And I'm sure that everyone gets the same thing as well. So you're going to have Sparkies who get, requests for electrical support. You're going to have recruiters who are looking for an organization to recruit into them. I don't think so. And this is because the people that are sending those messages are doing it on bulk rather than what's the word I'm looking for?
Rather on nuance.
Yeah. They're going for, well, if I get a 1 in 5 hit rate, brilliant. If I get a 1 in 10, nah. But I'm getting paid to do this for 4 hours a week. The SSI algorithm. So if you get a message request from somebody that you don't know, you have an opportunity to decline, and that actually goes against you. So it makes far more sense. You either doing it over a cup of tea, or you actually do it as part of a LinkedIn strategy. And this is where Gareth and I can support you with this as part of Tender Promote services.
If you're trying to connect to people, by the way, they can decline you, but they can actually go one step further and say to LinkedIn, I do not know this person. And that literally pulls your SSI down and also means you're far less likely to be seen when posts.
Yeah, because LinkedIn is looking for reputable people to connect with people reputably. They're looking for people who actually have met each other on the networking circuit, that actually rate the people's and products and services. You can follow businesses and you can befriend people in businesses. You can meet anybody from around the world. It has to be tangible. You can't just it's looking for LinkedIn is looking for you to build connection, and that comes through on your LinkedIn SSI scores.
Yes. I mean, you understand the so-called algorithms, actually a number of software tests and a bunch of tests which are completely automated that will be triggered off even if they've got it wrong. If they think, for instance, that you're using automation, they won't be looking for instance, things like vestiges of software, elements that are left behind that indicate you're using some sort of tool. They'll look for heuristics. They see that you've never had much in the way of connection rate, and suddenly you're up to at least 150 attempts per week, then suddenly you'll start getting messages, and eventually you will get banned, and there's no way back from that. So you've got to pay attention, and please don't plumb for the first piece of software that comes along that promises you 5,000 connections a week. Connection rate. You need to be sensible to the fact that they are looking for this. If anybody's unsure of this, please check out the terms of service in LinkedIn. They're freely available. Just type terms of service and then look at section 8. It lays it out there very clearly that it's very much against external services, and that's where we come in. We use manpower, we use intelligence, and we use appropriateness to make sure that the right things go out at the right time to promote your product correctly.
Yes, and it's not just going out at the right time, it's using the right language and the right hashtags to build your brand, to attract the right people. So you can use LinkedIn as an attractive marketing tool. And that's where things then start to change for your business. Because the second that you are promoting yourself as an attractive marketing facility, leads then start coming to you. And it's a far more effective use of business spend, in my humble.
Absolutely. But I need to warn people. I think of LinkedIn as a very large business bar somewhere in Moorgate in the city. If you go to a business bar, and this applies particularly if you're a female, you're going to get approached by a number of people. Some of them will be the local sleaze. A couple of people will be drunk out there, what's it. Some people may be interested because they've heard that you supply a service that could be of interest to them, and they might want to have a chat. Other people might want to check you out, but under the covers of the competition, and it's up to you to scope them out. LinkedIn is the same as that, but just much bigger. So if you are attracting people to you, you need to pull on your big girl and big boy pants and be appreciative of the fact that you are going to get people who are going to try and take advantage of your goodwill. They're going to actually try and burn your time. And I'm sorry, you're making yourself more available, so more people are going to come to you. You're sticking your head above the parapet. That means you're going to get more people being attracted to you, and also more people trying to launch rotten fruit at you. You've just got to be adept at avoiding the rotten fruit and picking up on the people that are the right for you. But you'll get more of everything. That's the point.
On that positive note, Gareth, thank you. So you can probably see something scrolling along the bottom, which is tenderresponse.co.uk/resources. If you have a quick look at your LinkedIn SSI score, or you want to know where that is to find out what your SSI score is, hit on that link at the bottom, and towards the bottom of that link, you'll find a document called LinkedIn SSI. All right. In there is a link to your SSI calculator, so it'll give you your current scores of where you are now. And it's always good to take a snapshot, because this can help you move from where you are now to where you are after you've done some of the actions that's in that document. So I give you 5 fantastic ways and 5 great tips of how you can build, how you can build your LinkedIn SSI index, how you can get that closer to 75. And 75 is a magic number.
Anything above 75 and you're guaranteed to have people coming to you.
Yes, it's attractive. And the reason why, go and bring everything back now full circle, the reason why Gareth and I are going live and sharing about our SSI index story is that when we started just doing videos only and we didn't do any posts, our SSIs plummeted. Gareth shared his scores earlier. They went from 79 to 63.
63 or thereabouts.
I went from 76 all the way down to 53. That was a large way to go. I'm now back up at 60, and there has been proactive remedial actions on both of our accounts, extensive proactive remedial actions on our accounts for the last 4 weeks. So even though in 30 days I went from 76 down to 53, it's taken me 4 weeks and I've only gained 7 points. So this is a lot longer drive.
I compare this to gas prices. They rise really, really quickly, and then even though we know that oil prices are down, they take much slower to come down. It's the exact reverse with this. They will drop like a stone, but they'll build up very slowly. I've still not got up to 79 yet. I am working on it. It's almost there. I'm almost at 80. I want it to be 80. I know that when I'm there, I'm still going to have to put work in to maintain that figure. It's an ongoing process. It is, to quote, a movable feast. We have to keep changing and doing work at the back end to make sure that people see what we're doing as relevant and and needs to be interacted with.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Gareth. It is always a movable feast. And there's Gareth. Gareth's popped up the tender response number. So the team are standing by to give anyone a hand who's struggling with their LinkedIn SSIs. Maybe you haven't posted in a while. Drop us a line and we'll give you some pointers on some suitable LinkedIn posts to generate engagement with people on your feed and people in your network. For anyone who is looking at, improving their LinkedIn SSIs, you can also use this number to grab in a complimentary, free, non-obligation. We're not going to try and sell you anything, promise. Chat for 60 minutes where we are going to talk to you about where you presently are on your LinkedIn SSI and the alterations and actions that you could do to improve your profile, because your LinkedIn SSI isn't just how you post, it's your profile and everything else that goes with it. It's a full shebang. So that's everything there.
So thank you very much for taking time out to talk to me today. As ever, we often talk about essences of how to get yourself better noticed on social media. It should be noted that Tend to Promote also cover a range of other social medias. We only focus on LinkedIn because perhaps algorithmically it's the more complicated to really engage with. But bear in mind, we have teams at the ready to promote your business, your interests on a range of other social medias as well. Eight. There you go. So once again, thank you so much, Vicky, and look forward to our next one. Now, tomorrow we'll be talking with slightly different hats on.
Tomorrow talking about the passion project. Yes, so join in for tomorrow to talk about that one.
Exactly. Perfect. Until then, bye-bye, everyone.